Okay, well, good Football Friday, New York Jet fans and NFL fans. It is September 29th, 2023, 4:14 p.m. We are in week 4 of the NFL season. Last night in Lambeau Field, the Detroit Lions beat the Green Bay Packers. I think the final score was 34-20, or 37-20, 24. But anyway, the Detroit Lions now going to Lambeau. They win. They get the Packers to go to 2-2. The Lions go to 2-2, and you know what? The whole NFC Norris division is up for grabs, except for maybe Chicago, who are in the same boat with the Jets, and ironically with Justin Fields as their quarterback, the same year that the Jets drafted Zach Wilson. So, of course, Zach Wilson and the team has been the subject of sports talk all week. That because they were the last team to play actually on Sunday, where the Giants played last Thursday. So the Giants have been out of the spotlight a little bit. They played Thursday night. They lost to San Fran, so they had like a mini bye. They play Monday night actually. So week 1, the Giants opened up Sunday night versus Dallas at MetLife, and then the Jets came in Monday night and played Buffalo. This weekend it's going to be reversed somewhat. The Jets will play Sunday night versus Kansas City, and the Giants come home to play Seattle and Geno Smith on Monday night. Zach Wilson, listen, we could say everything we want to say about him. He doesn't have the tools. He doesn't have the knowledge. He doesn't have the vision. And it could all be true, and maybe it could be corrected, but it is not all on him. Now, yes, he made plays or lack of plays on Sunday against New England where probably any competent quarterback, maybe 30 out of the 32 quarterbacks in the league, would have probably put up 16 points and won that game. Okay, but he didn't. The three plays that stand out to me in this Sunday game, then I'm going to stop talking about the Sunday game. Number 1, okay, the ghost sack. Okay, and that's what they're going to call it. Donald saw ghosts. Well, Zach, I don't know what he was looking at. He kind of was in the pocket. He didn't see anybody open. He turned again inside the pocket. Pocket started to collapse. He went down. Nobody touched him. Okay, I don't know if he didn't want to get hit. He was getting hit a lot. Okay, he may be smart on his part. But also, he didn't try to get out of the pocket, didn't try to use his legs to utilize his speed. That's number 1. Second play, the Jet defense, giving up only 13 points, kept them in the game, kept them within 1 score, okay, and made it a 13-10 game. So it was basically getting to field goal range. And the Jet defense holding. The Jets get the ball very deep in their own territory, and he takes a sack in the end zone and gives up 2 points. Makes it 15-10. So now it's a touchdown with the time running down. This is like less than 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. You know, to make matters worse, the punt, the free kick after that, the Jets kick it 75 yards and they pinned New England deep. Now, yes, if he didn't take that safety, and they still have to punt, maybe he gets that punt off again that far, or even, maybe 60 yards or 45 yards or 50 yards. But those 2 points were huge because now you're playing for a touchdown. Okay? And they only scored 1 touchdown in the game, and they've only scored 3 all season, which is an issue. The last play came just as time was winding down. I mean, the Jets got the ball back with 1 last drive after this with a few seconds left on the clock. But the Jets had 4th and 10, or as they call it on the radio, 4th and game. Okay, he needed to get 10 yards to extend this drive, and he checked down to Conklin, his tight end, who picked up a yard or maybe 2 yards. To me, and I said this in my video earlier in the week, this shows he does not know the presence of the game. Okay, he didn't know the situation. He didn't throw to Tony Gonzalez. He didn't throw to Gronk. He didn't throw to Kelsey, who we're going to be mentioning very shortly, and has been all over the radio the last 2 weeks, all over the TV and the networks and everything. It's just whatever, becoming a circus. He didn't throw to Mark Bavaro. He threw to a tight end who could get you 3-4 yards at tops. He's not going to break multiple tackles. He's not going to pick up 10 yards after catch. Okay? He dumped it down. Now, you could say, well, he didn't take the sack. Well, it didn't matter whether he took a sack or not. Okay, because at that point, he was turning the ball over anyway. So throw the ball downfield. Hope for an illegal hands to the face. Hope for, a hold. Hope for anything that could extend that drive, a defensive penalty that would extend that drive. But no, he checked down, a guaranteed catch, and got nothing out of it. So to me, that is what stands out to me. Those 3 plays show me on the field that this kid is not seeing the field the right way. Now, it could be all on him, or it could be part of the coaching. He has a quarterback's coach. They have a passing coach. They have an offensive coordinator. And he has a head coach. And you can say, well, the head coach is not a defensive coach. But the head coach should know everything that's going on with this team. And that was one of the things that I didn't like with Rex. And I've said this in many, many, many of my videos and in my blogs. I loved Rex. Okay? Rex got the most out of the team. But then, as time wore on, if you're not proving it, your speech wears off. And Rex only knew what was going on with his defense. Rex was the defensive guru. He was going to blitz you. He had 56 blitz pages in his book. He was going to get you. But you know what? You have to know what's going on with your quarterback. So that's what scares me about Saleh. Okay? He's defensive minded. He was a defensive coordinator. But you know what? He doesn't have that passion anymore that he showed me in year 1 and in year 2. Remember the receipts? Remember Hard Knocks when he read so eloquently about the crow and the eagle or whatever it was, not being able to survive or higher you fly and all that. Was that just for the cameras? The F-bombs that he dropped? I wanted Saleh to come in here because he reminded me of a young Rex. Okay? A Rex that, first of all jacked up. They show him running the stairs and every fine. Listen, I'm all into that. That's great. But what I don't like is this guy does not have the pulse on this locker room, and he is losing this locker room. And I don't care what is said. Garrett Wilson could go on a radio show and say all the positive things he wants to say. Okay, the defense can go out there and say all the positive things they want to say. I think it was Mosley who was giving kudos to Zach. But bottom line, we saw on the sidelines this in-house fighting. And you keep this in-house. You keep it behind closed doors. You don't air out your dirty laundry. And that got the attention of some big names. Now, you could say what you want about Joe Namath. His stats didn't prove him to be Hall of Fame worthy. He was average at best. Joe Namath did what no other Jet quarterback has done, and that's win a Super Bowl with the New York Jets. Okay? I'm not going to get into all the conspiracy theories and the selling the soul to the devil. I won't get into that. That's something you could joke about. That's something you could feel is true. But Joe Namath is the only one to be able to hoist that Lombardi trophy for the New York Jets as a quarterback. I've watched tape on Joe Namath. I've watched documentaries. He threw the ball like a rocket. You heard it. Okay? I was privileged enough to have the opportunity to DJ for events that Joe Namath was chairperson at. I have met him. He is a guy with personality and stories. This is the guy you want to sit down at a bar, or I know he doesn't drink anymore, or at a table and just hear his stories. Okay, because he could tell you stories beyond stories beyond stories. Plus, he had the stats on and off the field, let's be honest, to back them up. And he came out and basically, I read Twitter, he was killing Zach in Twitter, and then he went on ESPN radio and destroyed Zach on the radio. Now, I can remember back in either 95 or 96, and I'm gonna say it was 96 when the Jets drafted Keyshawn Johnson. And he wrote to just give me the damn book ball or whatever. 95 or 96. I forgot which one it was. And he didn't like Corbett. And Namath said something, and Johnson basically told the reporters, what do I care about the old man who won 30 years ago? He's not relevant to this team right now. And you can say what all you want about that. But when a man like Joe Namath, the legend that Joe Namath is for this organization, speaks, people are going to listen. The same way somebody like Reggie Jackson, Derek Jeter, Mark Messier, okay, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, people were going to listen. Second one was our current quarterback, who is on the IR right now, and that's Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers said a few things. He said the offense needs to start putting points on the board, so to speak. And I'm paraphrasing here. You got to stop fighting on the sidelines, okay? You got to work together. And Joe Namath's criticism doesn't help the situation. Okay, so we had those two big names speaking out. A current quarterback who was supposed to bring us to the promised land, and we all know how that story went and is going, and the quarterback who did it. Bottom line is this team has 4 touchdowns this season, okay? 3 on offense, 1 on special teams. That won that Buffalo game, obviously. We're facing a team who put 3 touchdowns in the first half last week, okay? A team where the backups played the second half, okay? Most of the fourth quarter. I won't say the whole second half, but most of the fourth quarter. I don't know the game plan going into Sunday, but you take the high offensive team that's coming in with the hot quarterback, the hot-handed quarterback, the one that all the girls love. And listen, I'm going to speak for my daughters. We're going to go into this game. We're going to root for the Jets. My daughter said maybe we can meet Mahomes and his brother and his wife. You know, maybe we'll meet Kelsey. You know, so that's what you do when you go to the game and it's, say, a consolation prize. I'll take the win over meeting them any day. But if we're going to lose, then I'd like to get my girls, you know, maybe to meet them. You know, just to go home, but it wasn't a waste. But again, I don't want to say waste because it's another night to spend with my girls at the game and watch a team that we love. The coaches come out and supported Zach. He has said that Zach is the best option right now, a quarterback for this team to win, which means you don't have Boyle or Doyle, I don't know his last name, and I'm sorry, who played on the Hackett system, and they signed Trevor Siemian, okay, who lost out to the second string job in Cincinnati, I believe. So that's what they brought in. So basically, they brought in a body just in case, God forbid, Zach Wilson gets hurt. And I don't want to see Zach Wilson get hurt. And I don't want to see Zach Wilson get booed off the field. But if strategically it works to bench him, then let's bench him. But right now, Coach Saleh is saying he's the best option. Fine. Then we go out there Sunday, and I expect Nathaniel Hackett to have a game plan that uses Zach's strengths. And I know people would say he has no strengths. Roll him out, okay? Get him on some RPOs. Give him an option to start running, okay? Do something to get the DBs to kind of stop in their tracks or to start cheating up, okay? Do something to not have them, you know, stack the box because you know you want to get Breece Hall and Devin Cook and Michael Carter, who was one of the guys arguing on the sidelines with the running back coach. You know you want to get them going. They asked one of the players on Kansas City, and I'm lying if I tell you who it was. I don't know if it was a defensive player or a wide receiver, but they said to him, what do you see when you see Zach Wilson and the Jets? And his answer was, and he wasn't rude about it, straight-faced, said, I see a team that's trying to get the running game going. A team just trying to run the ball. So you can take that two ways. You could say the Jets have an explosive running game, which we all thought, and they got to get that established before they get Zach comfortable in the pocket and doing things. Or maybe he said it tongue-in-cheek, and they're running the ball because this guy can't throw it, you know, and he's making mistakes. I don't know if I'm the coach what I would do because there's no backup really that I think is on the team right now. You tell me Trevor Siemian's better than Zach. We have an issue. So Zach Wilson's going out there Sunday. Whether he finishes the game or not is yet to be seen. And Zach will be out there, and I think Doyle will be his number 2. Okay. Then, reporter is stating that there are grumblings on the defensive side of the ball about the offense and how Saleh is coddling Zach. You're going to have this. Just think of you going to the office and you're breaking your ass and you're being productive, and then your boss and his boss, who brought in this young worker to streamline everything, is backing up the guy who is not doing much, who's doing little to no productivity. And I keep backing him up, and you keep going out there and breaking your ass. Eventually, you're going to say something. You're going to lose it. Your group, your crew, your team, whether you're in a warehouse, in an office, or on a field, are going to voice your displeasure. If this team doesn't start winning, you're going to start hearing rumblings. Now, right now, like I said, Mosley and all of them are saying the right thing. Garrett Wilson saying the right thing. There are so many theories out there that some of them are laughable. One of them that I heard earlier in the week, and I'm not going to mention the radio station, but they said conspiracy theory. The reason why Zach Wilson's still on this team is because Aaron Rodgers wanted him. And Aaron Rodgers came here and wanted to change his image and show he could be a mentor and show he could be a leader, and he wanted to teach Zach the job. So not only does Aaron Rodgers leave here a hero, maybe possibly winning the Super Bowl, but he teaches a young kid who had no hope and takes this team into the next 10, 15 years. And that's why they're not getting rid of Zach Wilson. Okay? The other theory is if they treat Zach Wilson bad, or they cut Zach Wilson, or they bench Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers is going to be mad at the team, and he may not come back. That was another radio station. That same radio station, that same commentator said, if this team doesn't win between 8 and 9 games, or possibly makes the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers will start looking around for other teams. Nobody really looked at him last year, but they saw what he was like in Hard Knocks. They saw his new image he's trying to present, and maybe they throw a boatload of money at him, and he goes someplace else. So they're all looking at the worst case scenario. Listen, you can't compare Aaron Rodgers coming here to other leaders coming to this team or to other sports teams and just leaving for the money. You don't know what's going to happen. Okay? He said all the right things. From his hospital bed. Okay? From his home on the Pat McAfee show. From, wherever he was quoted or tweeted these remarks or Instagram. He is saying the right things. I don't think he's here 3-4 years. I think he comes back next year, maybe 2, maybe next year and the year after that. But I don't think he jumps ship to start over someplace else. He has roots here. He has like a $14 million or $12 million mansion in New Jersey. And he's already said he wants to come back and prove the doubters. So those are all conspiracy theories. Okay. So let's get to the circus of what they call Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, or as my cousin Richie calls him, Swelchie. So hopefully that'll be trending. So Richie, hope that trends on Twitter for you, Swelchie, #Swelchie. She was in the box with Kelsey's parents or mom Sunday when Kansas City was playing. Rumor has it she's coming to MetLife on Sunday. From Sunday through so far today, ticket sales have gone up. The Travis Kelce uniform jerseys have gone up 400%. The joke is, I have tickets to the Taylor Swift concert on Sunday. Oh, and by the way, there'll be a football game during it. So she'll be there. I can't see her sitting outside in regular seats. She'll be in a box. So she'll be there. The one thing one of the radio commentators said today, which I thought was a chuckle, and it's not been confirmed yet, but as long as Aaron Rodgers gets the clearance to fly, he wants to come back to the facility and be with the guys, he says, and get back. And that's why I really think he's going to be here next year. But could you imagine, and I don't see him being on the sidelines. God forbid somebody runs into him on the sidelines. So I think he'll be in a box. So One of the radio commentators today said, the Sports Talk Radio said, what the Jets of MetLife have to do is get Aaron Rodgers over to Taylor Swift's luxury suite. Okay? And I almost said Taylor Swift's box. So, okay, Taylor Swift's luxury suite. And have him on camera with her. He went to the concert. He sang way too many songs of Taylor Swift that he knew. But could you imagine him there, giving her a hug, saying hello, and that is broadcasted in MetLife? The energy and the eruption from the crowd would be incredible. But you have to do this strategically. You can't do it if Kelsey has 4 grabs for 110 yards and 2 TDs. You have to do this if the team is really at least staying in the game and Kelsey's being held at bay. That would be great. I don't know how that'll be happening. I don't even know if Aaron Rodgers will be here Sunday. I mean, the commentator said it. I actually reached out to another radio analyst who hosts shows, and he says, I believe that it's if he's cleared to play. I'm sorry, not cleared to play, cleared to fly. So we shall see. But that would be amazing. Sunday they're also honoring Joe Klecko, who went to the Hall of Fame, which I feel like the Hall of Fame game was months ago, and it was a little over 2 months ago. Or not even 2 months ago, it'll be 2 months next week. But he'll get his ring. He'll be at midfield wearing his jacket, so it'll be nice to see Joe Klecko. I will say this. I had the opportunity to talk to Marty Lyons, and he is a really down-to-earth man as well, and has some time to speak to the fans. So he was a class act. He was actually doing a free autograph signing. Him, Plaxico Burress, and I forgot who else was Ken Danico, and then a WNBA player. I apologize, but Marty was great to speak to. Him and Ken looked like they were just mingling with the crowd while they were sitting there. So before we look at Sunday's picks with the Jets and Kansas City in the preview, I want to pick this week's games. I have 3 games besides or in addition to the Kansas City game. So in Jacksonville, and I have to say the Jaguars right now are playing below what I thought they were playing. They're 1-2. They've been in some close ones, but they have also been in games where they had to catch up. They are home. They are 3-point favorites to the Falcons. Atlanta is 2-1. So, like I always said, you get 3 points for being at home. So Jacksonville is -3. So it's kind of a wash. So they're saying it's like a pick'em game right there, I would say, or they're right on the cusp. So I'm going with Jacksonville, given the 3 points. I think they beat the Falcons. Trevor Lawrence, I think, is a better quarterback, and the offense is going to be better than the Atlanta defense. Then you have 2 teams where I thought would be a little better than this also. The Panthers have that young QB who was out last week with the concussion. I believe his name is Bryce Young. They're playing Minnesota in Carolina. Minnesota 0-3 with Kirk Cousins, who has been the rumor of coming to the Jets, and I don't see him coming at this point where we're going to be 4 games in, so I don't see him coming. It's either make or break with Zach. But anyway, 0-3 Minnesota at 0-3 Carolina. The Minnesota Vikings on the road giving 4.5 points, and I'm taking Minnesota. I just can't see Minnesota going 0-4, but I can see Panthers going 0-4. A big AFC East matchup. You have the Miami Dolphins, who are 3-0, who have beaten the Patriots, who have beaten Buffalo, who beat Denver 70-20, beat them by 50 points last week. Okay, they fly up to Buffalo. That's a long East Coast trip up, and if they're flying in this weather this weekend, they're going to be delayed. I don't know when they're getting there, or what have you. Maybe they're flying up early tomorrow. But you have the 3-0 Miami Dolphins going against the 2-1 Buffalo Bills. Of course, Buffalo's only loss came to the Jets on Monday night, September 11th. This is huge implication for Miami to see where they'll be. There's huge implication for Buffalo to see where they'll be, and for the Patriots and the Jets. Listen, I don't like either one of these teams. but Miami's getting 3 points on the road in Buffalo. Um, I'm not sure if the rain will be up there by then. It's going through the East Coast now. New York and New Jersey are in a state of emergency. 5 to 7 inches of rain can fall, but by Sunday, the field should be in good condition. Um, so I'm picking Miami getting the 3 points. I think they go to 4-0. I think Buffalo falls to 2-2. Um, Miami is just firing on offense, and yes, they gave up 20 points on defense last week, but 20 points is nothing. Let's see the Buffalo defense try to handle Miami offense, but I just think Miami wins this game. It'll probably be close, and that's why I'll take the 3 points. I'm thinking, 27-24, 24-20, something like that. And then finally, the Jets at home, Sunday night, their second standalone game, their second primetime game, their second home game at night out of the first three. They are getting 8.5 points. Kansas City is 2-1. The Jets are 1-2. Listen, on paper, head to head, Kansas City has a better quarterback. Kansas City has the better tight ends. Kansas City has the better offense all around. The Jet defense and special teams need to keep them in this game. And hopefully, Zach and the offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, can come up with something to try to throw them off their game. This is a game the Jets need to win. It's a conference game. So they already lost to the Patriots. So you don't want to go 0-2 in the conference, or I should say 1-2 in the conference. But this is a game the Jets need to win. I'm not going to pick a score. It could be, God forbid, 38-3. But you have to think that after the embarrassment of last week, and they were one play away from winning, and it was still an embarrassment because they could not move that ball. And then there was 8 punts, I think, in the first 9 possessions, that Saleh and Hackett and the rest of the offense needs to get things going. And they got to get Garrett Wilson in this game, and they have to get the running game going. And the offensive line needs to keep Zach Wilson upright, and he needs to know pocket presence. I'm going to take the 8.5 points. I always pick the Jets to win. With my heart, I can't see them going 1-3, but realistically, they're facing a mountain, and they got to come out, and they got to come out playing extremely, extremely well. So those are my picks. I got Jacksonville giving 3 to Atlanta. I got Miami getting 3 from Buffalo. I got Minnesota giving 4.5 to the Panthers, and I have the Jets getting 8.5 over Kansas City. So listen, we are the Takeoff. You can reach us on our Twitter handle at the Jets Takeoff. You can reach us on TikTok at the Jets Takeoff. We are on Facebook at the Takeoff. That Facebook page is a little, activity is a little slow. So Twitter, TikTok, Instagram now, the Jets Takeoff. And you can email us at thejetstakeoff@gmail.com or subscribe to this video. We're trying to get more subscribers. Listen, I don't do this for money. I don't get paid for this. This is something I find therapeutic. It's a labor of love. It's something that I like to do and share with friends, and I hope that they share with others. My cousin Richie is a huge Islander fan. He's headed out to Islander preseason game tonight with his wife, and he says, I wanted to listen to your video on the way to the game. Good luck, Richie, driving in this weather tonight. I know a lot of the roads out in Long Island are flooded, so be careful, be safe. But reach out to us. You go to the game Sunday night, what do you think? Are you going to see Taylor in the suite? Are you going to see Mahomes? You going to see maybe this team, pulls this one out, shocks the world? Does Aaron Rodgers show up? Let me hear what you're doing. What time are you getting there? Tailgating, you're cooking, you're bringing sandwiches. Are you selling your tickets? Are you staying home? Reach out to us. I'd love to hear from you. I heard a lot of calls of people sitting in the rain on Sunday. It's supposed to be beautiful on Sunday night. 79 all day. So even if it gets a little cooler at night, it's supposed to be a clear night. Weather should not be an issue on Sunday. Maybe a little bit wind, but nothing terrible. So let's hear from you. Again, this is the takeoff. Please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. And you can always Google us as well. Please subscribe. You'll be notified every time I release a video. And that's it. So have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. Have a blessed weekend. A blessed weekend. However you say it. Be safe. Be healthy. And hopefully Monday, we're talking, about an upset win. But we shall see.